Wilt Chamberlain's legendary 100-point record has stood unbeatable for too long. But that's all about to change. Between 1990 and 2004, only 7 NBA games saw a player hitting 60 points. But in January 2024, we saw not 1, not 2, but 4 such remarkable performances. Let's see when and who will finally shatter the record. Back in Wilt's time, scoring mainly came from 2-pointers and free throws. But today's players have a third option, the epic 3-point shot. In Joel Embiid's 70-point game, he made 1 3-pointer, but these days it's a crucial part of high-scoring performances. Forget Wilt's insane 36 makes. Let's aim for a more down-to-earth 20, a feat that's happened about once a season in the 21st century. Names on the list? Big guys like Embiid and Shaq, forwards like LeBron and Aldridge, and even guards like Kobe and Beal. So, who's most likely to break Wilt Chamberlain's record, or at least hit 100? Let's narrow it down. We're looking for NBA stars with an all-NBA pedigree, the cream of the crop. Anyone not making an all-NBA team is out. Victor Wembanyama can probably get into the mix in a couple of years by developing and crafting his skills a bit more, but it's still too early to have him in this category as a rookie. Exceptions for now: Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, Jamal Murray, and Jalen Brunson, who's aiming for all NBA this season. That also includes all those who are 25 and below. We'll have to find out about Zach LaVine, D'Angelo Russell, Lauri Markkanen, Fred VanVleet, and Karis LeVert. The remaining include big names such as LeBron, KD, Harden, and a couple of other rising stars. So who's got what it takes for the mythical 100-point club? Let's narrow it down even further. It's now time for the second condition, sorting out players whose prime scoring days are in the rear-view mirror. As we filter through the roster of NBA stars, it's clear that some players have already left their prime scoring days behind them, while others still hold a glimmer of hope to challenge Wilt Chamberlain's historic 100-point record. Among those who are past their glory days are the likes of Harden, Westbrook, Beal, Holiday, Love, Thompson, Rose, and Middleton. Their contributions to the game have been significant, but the days of dominating the scoreboard night after night might be dwindling. But a formidable lineup of superstars remains, featuring perennial scorers such as LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. These players continue to show off their ability to light up the scoreboard and pose a legitimate threat to Chamberlain's record. For the third condition, we'll separate the 3-point sharpshooters from the rest. So let's wave goodbye to those who haven't given us a glimpse that they could hit that mark on a scorching day. If you haven't made at least 9 threes in a game, you're out of the running. Trae Young falls short with a career-best 8 threes, and believe it or not, Booker's never gone beyond 6 in a regular season game. Even KD is out because he loves mid-range shots. He hasn't made more than 8 threes in a game. Some very big names couldn't make the cut here. Guys like Joker, AD, Ja Morant, Kawhi, and even the Greek Freak. Gilgeous-Alexander leans more towards 2-pointers, and Butler, well, he might be saving his 100-point magic for the playoffs. It seems nearly impossible for any modern player to match Wilt's combination of field goals and free throws. Wilt's edge in pace and playing time allowed him to take 63 shots in that record-setting game, a feat that is unmatched in the past 50 years. Current contenders need to play smart and leverage something Wilt couldn't: the magic of 3-pointers. Since Wilt's time, centers achieving 60-point games are rare. The only big man in NBA history with more than one 60-point game just happened to be a sharpshooter from long range. Embiid's recent scoring spree against the Spurs provides real-life proof of this theory. Despite attempting 41 field goals and 21 free throws against a less than formidable front court, he fell short by 30 points from Wilt's record. Sorry, buddy, you're out too. Sure, a few more minutes might have nudged him past 80, but adding a whopping 30 more points to the tally? That's impossible without threes. Condition 4, free throws. You see, we're aiming for players who can consistently get to the charity stripe and rack up those freebies. Unfortunately, more than half of the remaining players haven't even attempted at least 20 free throws in a single game, which is kind of like getting 4/5 of the way to the magic number of 25. So they're out too. Now this move might even surprise you, but it even knocks out someone like Steph Curry, who's one of the best shooters in NBA history. Sure, he can sink those incredible threes, but he doesn't get to the line enough to be a top contender for reaching the 100-point milestone. Remember, free throws are crucial. Every 60-plus point game this century has had at least 10 attempts, averaging 18.4. So now we've got LeBron, Lillard, PG, Towns, Mitchell, Tatum, and Luca left. Condition 5, scoring 2-pointers. To stay in, players need a career high of at least 16. That means we gotta wave goodbye to the heavy hitters close with 14 or 15. Lillard and Mitchell hit 70 points last season. Surprisingly, Paul George never even reached 50. And even Tatum couldn't keep up with the final contenders there. The spotlight is now on LeBron, Towns, and Luca, the last contenders. Let's see who's got the package for the 100-point game. Alright guys, here's the grand finale, down to the last 3 contenders. Let's break down their cases one by one. First in the spotlight is Towns, a rarity with multiple 60-point games in NBA history. Just 9 players share that elite status. Now, he's been holding strong through the previous rounds, but when we zoom in for a closer look, Towns hasn't hit a couple of those key marks lately. The guy hasn't gone beyond 16 free throws or made more than 13 two-pointers in a game since the 2016-17 season, way back in his sophomore NBA stint. Sure, he's an impressive scorer and quite possibly the best shooting big man ever, but when it comes to the triple-digit chase, he might not be our top pick because he's more inconsistent than the other guys. Well, the NBA's all-time leading scorer didn't make the cut either. LeBron James, the legend himself, has an incredible career, and it's impressive that he stayed in the running this far, especially considering the other players 35 and older were sent packing a while back. But let's face it, even with all his greatness, if LeBron never went beyond 61 points in his prime, hitting the triple-digit mark now seems like a stretch. Plus, he hasn't taken more than 15 free throws in a game since the 2016-17 season. And there it is, the last man standing, Luca Doncic. At just 24, he's getting marginally better each year, and every year would contribute to the cause. He's got the skills to take on the 100-point challenge, or at least chase Kobe's 81-point record. Now that he's scored 73, it's starting to get real. Luca is no stranger to the spotlight, nailing 9 three-pointers in a recent game, and boasting a career-best 37.5% from beyond the arc. Last season, he made 19 two-pointers in a game and attempted a whopping 22 free throws. The guy's got the tools, and he's the last man standing. Much like younger versions of LeBron, he's not exactly the selfish type gunning for that 100-point milestone. Take his 73-point masterpiece, for instance. Luca had a usage rate of 41%, and on top of all those buckets, he dished out 7 assists. Just to put that into perspective, only 3 players this season have topped a 50% usage rate in a game. Embiid when he scored 70, Towns when he scored 62, and Booker when he scored 62. Now, if Luca had been a bit more stingy with the passes, and if the game had stretched into overtime, it's a real possibility because Dallas led by just 3 points with 1:39 seconds left. That magical 100 could have been within reach. But here's the thing, Luca now holds the crown for the highest single-game point total among all active players. So maybe he was the obvious answer to the 100-point question all along. Now let's keep it real, even with all this talk, Luca probably won't drop 100 points in a game. That number still feels like something out of a myth and legend, not a legit possibility. But 100 points isn't as unbreakable as some of Chamberlain's other records, like his 50.4 points per game in the 1961-62 season. It was way easier to pull off a ridiculous outlier in one game than to sustain that level across a full season. And out of everyone, Doncic stands the best chance of turning that wild outlier into an impressive reality. But if you want to see what else NBA players get up to, make sure to click on this next video.